Hey guys, Musically Stu today, and I'm back with another video. Now today's video we're going to be reacting to a Citizen Soldier song called If I Surrender. Now this is the second to last song on this album, so the next song I'm going to be reacting to is going to be the last song for this album. I'm going to be done and then I'm going to go back to Black Veil Brides. Now I know it's been quite a weird journey with this one because I have been, not uploading some days, so this album has been stretched out for quite a bit, so sorry for that, but luckily there's only one song left before I'm done with this, so it should be fine at least then. And sorry if you guys hear some noise in the background like earlier right there because my neighbors are doing some stuff, so once again sorry for that. This album towards the ending I've been really enjoying it. If I'm being honest, in the beginning I don't know how to feel about it. I felt like some of the songs just didn't hit for me, but there were definitely some good songs, but definitely towards the end I think the music got way better, and the last few songs I've really enjoyed and had nothing really negative to say about it. They've just been really fun and entertaining, so yeah, let's get into it.
Lately, I've been feeling so ashamed by these thoughts I'm hiding in my brain. 'Cause I've been holding them down, but they twist me violently. I'm hanging by a thread tonight, but this time I don't wanna be saved. So let me fall, let me break under everything unsaid. Just let me die, 'cause I can't take living with what's in my head. If I surrender to the monsters in me. If I surrender to the monsters in me, will it set me free? What's the point of holding on like this when no one seems to care if I exist? There is no agony like being strong when no one knows you're sick. So sick of hearing I should stay when I know I will never be missed. So let me fall, let me break under everything unsaid. Just let me die, 'cause I can't take living with what's in my head. If I surrender to the monsters in me. If I surrender to the monsters in me. If you could see under my skin, you'd realize why I hold it in. Why it's a fight I don't wanna win. Why it's a fight I don't wanna win. If you could see all my abuse and spend a day inside my shoes, you'd realize why I just wanna lose. You'd realize why I just wanna lose. Will anyone believe the hell there be in me before I decide to be the dying proof?
So let's go through a couple of the stuff it says right here. I think this will be a good part to stop. Also, it's pretty much towards the ending of this. Somebody else has it worse than you. You're just being dramatic. You're not praying enough. Suicide is selfish. You're just doing this for attention. I did mention these before. He has gone through this theme quite a bit, talking about, people not taking it seriously, not believing him, because this is the big stigma on, mental health problems. There are a lot of people that have been pushing this, mainly people like Andrew Tate, who's been saying that it's not real, it's like, ghost. If you believe in ghosts, then it's going to be there, but if you don't believe in it, it's not going to be there. Sorry once again for the background noise, there's nothing I can do about it, but when I hear stuff like that, I'm just like, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not something that's made up in our minds to make an excuse, because most people that have it aren't coming out and saying it to gain sympathy or from anybody, This is just how they truly feel, and this is what they're going through, and most of the times people don't say what's happening to them. You've seen countless cases of somebody committing suicide, and then the news reporter talked to people, their family, they're like, oh, I didn't know, they were so happy and this and that, I couldn't tell. So if they really were attention seekers and wanting sympathy so much, wouldn't that not be, the case? Wouldn't you be more like, oh yeah, it was obvious, they always talked about it. But the fact that they don't, and they're surprised, the people that are closest to them were like, I'm shocked. It just showcases that that's not something that they reveal, because that's not something that they are comfortable with revealing or proud of. So yeah, that is not true. People who have depression are usually feel ashamed of feeling the way they do, and they don't go out and publicize it for other people to give them attention or whatever. So that is BS, and people like Andrew Tate do set off like a negative stereotype on what it is like, oh, you're just making excuses to not keep on fighting or whatever. And in this one, let's go to some of the ones that he went through. You're just being dramatic. That's basically what he says. A lot of people say, well, everybody gets sad. And it's like, that's not what depression is. Depression is not getting just sad once in a while. It's far more deeper than that. It's like to the level where it drains you of your energy, sometimes to the point where people don't even leave their bed. So it's far more significant than just, oh, I feel sad because of this or that. And sometimes it's not because something happened to you. Sometimes it's just completely internally, because a lot of people that when they're sad is because, oh, they lost their job, they got broken up with, they lost somebody, or they had to pay a ton of money because they got fined or whatever. So those are physical things, but mental things, those are a lot harder. If you're just mentally struggling, and I'm not talking about going through stress, but just mental trauma or whatever, that is far more complex than that. So just being dramatic, I do see people saying that, and I think that's messed up to say. Because if they're being dramatic, then they would be, telling you, but most of them don't, so that's not true. Somebody else has it worse than you. You see this also whenever somebody complains. Instead of listening to the complaint, they're like, oh, you're just trying to act. Like, here's the thing. We're not trying to compete. People that have this are not trying to say, oh, my problems are worse than others. It's just saying, hey, I'm struggling, I'm going through something bad, and you just want somebody to listen to you. We all have it, even people that are not depressed. Most people that are just struggling, they're like, oh man, this sucks, and people say, oh, somebody has worse than you. Okay, so how's that going to change my situation? I guess you can look at stuff in a more positive, light, and that makes sense. But most people don't do it. Even the people that suggest that, it's just kind of a dumb argument or a statement to make that somebody else has it worse than you. That doesn't change. That doesn't mean that one person's struggling or suffering just because it's higher than somebody else's. Doesn't mean that their struggling and suffering is not there, or it negates it. And it's not like those people that are saying that are trying to compete with other people. They're just saying that. Now, if you are, I think then that's a problem, because you shouldn't be trying to say, hey, my trauma is worse than yours. Once you do that competition thing, that's the problem. But most people that are talking about others are not doing that. Then we have, you're not praying enough. This is usually the super religious people. This also leads into the other statement, which I will talk about a little bit later, but you're not praying enough. You can pray, you can do all this other stuff, but it still won't fix it. People go get their mental health fixed in a healthy manner, and they still can't fix it that easily. So it's not that easy. You're just doing this for attention. This is also akin to you're just being dramatic. I mentioned this many times about the attention thing. There's some valid criticism there, because there are people that publicize it and state that they have mental illnesses. I've seen people say they have Tourette's when they literally don't have any Tourette's or ADHD and stuff like that, and they're trying to gain sympathy for those mental health struggles. And they're trying to, either they might have it and they're doing over the top to get sympathy, or they don't even have it at all and are trying to just make people feel bad for them when they don't have something. But then again, most people are fucked up. There's a lot of people that fake that they're dying. There's countless people, content creators that talk about, oh, I have this illness. You find out they don't have an illness. They just made it up just for sympathy and views. So people do that, but to assume they all do that, that's what I think is ridiculous. And then the suicide is selfish. That does tie in with the religious aspect, because in religion, if you commit suicide, you're going against God because he gave you life. So if you take that life away, that's basically like disrespecting him. So that's the way they see it in. Or also, even not in a religious way, somebody's a friend of yours and like, why did he take himself? That's selfish. That's more in a hurt manner. The other one's more in a kind of a judging manner. So the suicide is selfish thing, people can see it that way, and I can understand it, but it's like, well, wanting them to live just because you will be hurt of their suffering, isn't that also kind of selfish? So it can be selfish on either side. It can be, oh, he's selfish for taking his life and then hurting a bunch of people that care about him, but then it's also like, well, they're struggling and suffering and they're living just because to make you happy. Wouldn't that be selfish that they're doing that just for you? So it's kind of a hard situation with that. But there's many things, and I do like that they added this in because it does add more context to what I'm saying. So yeah. And once again, sorry for that noise. I know it's obnoxious as hell to you. These guys work on cars all the time, and They do it whenever random time, so sorry for that. But let's get back into it.
So let me fall, let me break under everything I'd say. Just let me die, 'cause I can't take living with what's in my head. If I surrender, surrender to the monsters in me. If I surrender, surrender to the monsters in me. Will it set me free?
So that was Citizen Soldier's song called If I Surrender. He has talked about this topic quite a bit in his other songs, so it's nothing new, but the song itself as a whole is really good. Like I said, towards the ending of this album, the songs have been really killing it. I haven't found anyone that I don't like, and we only have one more left, so I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that the last songs on this album, or the last half of this album, have been phenomenal, and definitely better than the first half. The first half had some good songs, but as a whole, I think it was okay. But towards the ending, it definitely, picked up and it did a lot better. So yeah, that's really good thing about this album. But yeah, this song is, it's important because they at least put in more of the other stuff, because he does mention countless times about, people don't believe in and stuff, and it's cool to see him having the comments, so you can dive more deep into what the struggles are, and I've talked about them quite a bit, and I did a little bit towards the middle part, so I'm not going to go into that too much. All I'm going to say is there's a lot of stuff you're going to hear when you're depressed, but just know that, just ignore them, because there's a lot of people that do support you. There are some that are not going to listen or care, but there's definitely those that support you in the end of the day. So yeah, it's just best to find people that actually truly believe and care, but people are going to be ignorant no matter what. You just got to ignore it and accept it. That's just the way of life. There's a lot of people I see say and do stupid stuff that I'm just like, man, I wish I could just punch you in the mouth for being so dumb, but then that's not how it works. You just got to accept it and move on. That's the best way to do it. No matter how you feel towards somebody, no matter how much hatred you have, don't let that hatred consume you. Just calm down and be like, hey, look, okay, though you kind of have a big mouth and I want to hit you, I can't do that. That's not civilized way to handle situations. Just calm down, just ignore them, and try to find others that agree with you in a positive manner. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.